Hello everyone. We are moving into chapter 4. This is basically about inequalities, the greater than or the less than sign. There are 4 steps. You combine your terms, you keep the variables on the left, opposite operations, and you reverse the inequality as needed. Now the reason step 2 is here is because you want to make sure that the unknown, the variable, the x or the n, stays on the left so that it matches your number line. Now, let's take a look at the first example. Like an equation, you do the same thing. You do opposites. If you want to get the n by itself, you add 3 and you are here. N is greater than 11. If you can imagine a number line like this, here's 0, here's 11. Everything beyond 11 is an answer. And this is why you want to keep it on the left, the variable that is, so that it matches your number line. Now here I just did a subtraction here. Now here you divide by -1 and it flips. And let me tell you why it flips. Imagine if you would, you have 3 is greater than -2. That is true. If you multiply both sides by a negative, you're going to get a -2 on the right. How can -3 be greater than +2? It cannot. This is why you always reverse it, or reverse the inequality that is, when you're talking about multiplying or dividing by a negative number. On this one, all we do is add 3 and we're done pretty much. As you could see, -8 plus 3 would be -5. You can imagine a number line if you had to. Here's -5 and you're going to the right. And that's why you want to keep your variable on the left. Here we have to move the variables on the left to the left. I have to subtract 2n first. This is assuming there's a 1 here. 1 minus 2 will be a -1n plus 8, and you get less than or equal to 14. And then we just subtract the 8, like so, and we get -1n is less than or equal to +6. Now, we have to divide or multiply by a -1, and when we do, we have to flip the direction of the inequality, like that. Here we have decimals. Same idea. We move the -2y over to the left, like so. You get -1y minus 5.3 is greater than 7.2. Then we add the 5.3, 5.3, and you get 5. You get 12.5 on the right, and you get -1y on the left. Like we said before, we divide or multiply by a -1. That reverses the direction of the inequality, and you get something like that. We move on to this example here, same idea, more practice over the same thing, pretty much. And so you add 6, and you get n is less than or equal to 2. Same thing here, but notice you have a decimal and a fraction. You can either go to all fractions or all decimals. To me, it's easier to use decimals. 1/2 is 0.5, so I'm going to use decimals all the way down. Plus 4.5 plus 4.5, and you get C, and you get 10 carry 1, you get 7. 7.0 or just 7. Now, here you have a fraction. Don't panic, just follow through with what you know in arithmetic. Take away 6, take away 6. You get -n is less than -9/5 minus 6/1. Remember, the little crisscross I showed you not long ago. If I multiply these two, I know it's going to be a negative 9. 1 times 9. And this would be a negative 30. The negative is there. Negative 30. Over 5 times 1 is 5. If you notice, you get negative 39 over 5. And now we put it together. And what we have to do now is divide or multiply by a negative 1. And everything flips over. This becomes a positive. And you're done. So that's one way of dealing with fractions. Here, we're going to take a look and see if we can combine terms first. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus k on the left. 6.0 minus 4.6 is going to be 1.4. 1.4. Then we just take away 4, take away 4.0, and we're going to do 4.0 minus 1.4, and you're going to get 2.6, a negative 2.6. And then we divide by a negative 1, everything flips, and you get 2.6. So it's a matter of practicing your arithmetic with fractions and decimals to make sure you don't make careless mistakes. On this one, you have a fraction and then you have a decimal. I want to make this into a decimal. Now 1/5, I've done it so many times, is 0.2. 2/5 will be 0.4. 4.4 minus 3 less than 8.4 minus 1.6. Now let me do the arithmetic. 4.4 minus 3.0, I'm going to get 1.4 on this side. And 8.4 minus 1.6, that's going to be 14 minus 6 is 8. 6.8. And then we do the last step, minus 1.4 on both ends, and you get 5.4. And that's how you do inequalities. Remember, your 3 or 4 steps, and don't forget to reverse the inequality if you have to multiply or divide by a negative.